There's just been one veto by Governor Little this legislative session, which is interesting since of the 691 bills introduced this year, the most in the last 5 years, by the way, 256 have been sent to the governor. And so far, he signed all but 22 of them. Over the weekend, the lone veto was the medical freedom bill. And we expected to see some sort of veto override vote at some point this week. But instead, we saw two new medical bills brought forward. By the end of today, we're down to just one. Joe Paris takes a look at why Governor Little vetoed that first one and whether the second one is good enough to get his signature.
Working on the weekend, Governor Brad Little vetoed the Idaho Medical Freedom Act, legislation that looked to prohibit mandated medical interventions across Idaho, preventing businesses, schools, and the government from requiring things like vaccines, masks, or other medical treatments as conditions to participate.
It's that time of year we start doing the back and forth and try to find paths forward to get us out of this building.
House Speaker Mike Moyle is at the helm of navigating solutions. The fix on the Medical Freedom Act, a very popular bill in the House, comes in the form of new legislation instead of a veto attempt.
It just fixes the concerns that the governor had.
Moyle is a sponsor on the newly printed House Bill 472, a tailored fix in response to Governor Little's concern that the original bill removed parents' freedom to ensure their children stay healthy at school because he believed it jeopardized the ability of schools to send some sick students home, students with highly contagious conditions. In the proposal, schools wouldn't have been able to enforce vaccine or treatment requirements for anything, teachers or students. The latest version specifically changes that.
Well, I think everybody wants local control, and I don't think the original bill said they couldn't send them home. It just said they couldn't make them get a specific treatment for whatever was wrong. So the local control was there before to send them home, but it just took away the locals to tell them they had to use this product or that for whatever the problem was.
With the fix written, supporters are optimistic it'll soon clear the House and Senate again. But it's wait and see. Many lawmakers won't look to adjourn for the year until the idea clears the governor's desk. A temperature on wrapping up, because you hear from the members as they're coming out, some of them are like,
well, they all want to go home. You saw before you came in my office, I was out there with a group of legislators. We're going through some of the things that need to happen and what we need to do, and it was interesting listening to some of their comments. And I think they understand that some of this stuff has to pass and some of it doesn't. And it's finding that balance and getting the right ones passed and through that get us out of here.
There are still a load of budgets to take on, and Moyle is no stranger to late session politics. A session lawmakers seem ready to finish ASAP.
There's a balance, and it takes time to, politics, it doesn't happen overnight. I wish it did. It's like on the farm, man. You got to probably go fix it. But in politics, there's 105 and a governor, and you just got to, it takes time to move the boat.
I know the golden question at the State House today is when do we wrap it up? And Brian, it was interesting as the House was adjourning for the day. We were standing outside the chambers. Almost every lawmaker that came up towards us or even looked in our direction was like, yeah, let's wrap this up. So you heard the speaker talk about things that need to get done, things that don't need to get done. In terms of policy bills, those don't need to get done. The only things that lawmakers are obligated to do is budgets. And there are still dozens of budgets that need to get approved and voted on out there. As recently as today, though, we have still seen lawmakers voting down some budgets. But the speaker tells me that he has been happy with a lot of budgets coming onto the floor because they have been cut down from previous years and previous versions.
Okay, not the longest session by days, but we're looking at the total of bills and resolutions, more than 1,000 so far this session.
1,003, and they still have time for more.
Yeah, and that was as of Friday. Who knows? That doesn't count for today. All right, thank you very much.
At least a few more today. There you go.
Yeah.